News Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
All right, sorry to break this up, but it is showtime, folks. It's Coffee Ann here on ON, AM, and FM. It is Wednesday morning, November 23rd. Tim's kitchen looks lovely, by the way, or his new kitchen, by the way. Tim Draper from Navigant Credit Union is here. Hi, Tim.
Joe, how are you this morning?
Oh, and Tim brought muffins from Phantom Farms.
Love Phantom Farms.
Oh,
by the way, I
God.
understand the place is
smell
packed
it through
this
the air?
morning.
They were telling me that because I was the smart one, and I ordered an apple pie from Phantom Farms ahead of time.
Yeah.
And I said, I actually said to them, I said, do you need to have hospital? Do you need to have police detail out here like they do over at Wright's on this day? And they said, we're looking into that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be crazy, and I'm going to go join the craziness a little later on this morning.
On the
as I
bright side,
pick
you
up my
pick
apple
your pies
pie
up in the barn next
in the
door,
barn, so that helps a little, right?
You had Macari's Jason on the a few
Yes.
shows ago, and I enjoyed listening to the plans.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll stop talking.
All right, Melissa Smith is here. That's Dave. Melissa Smith from St. Antoine Communities is here.
Melissa, you look just like Dave.
Oh, I'm sitting here thinking
So-
I brought a nice healthy breakfast shake to drink on the air this morning, and now I'm going to shove this big muffin in my mouth. Yes.
That'd
You
be much
thought
better
wrong.
for
Thank you so much, Tim, with a little Thanksgiving treat.
So before
Thank
you
you,
shove,
Tim.
thanks, Tim. Now before you shove the muffin in your mouth, Melissa,
Yes.
let's get a first message from the St. Antoine Communities.
Excellent transition, I have to say. We're off to a good start this morning. So for those of you that don't know a lot about St. Antoine Community, we are a large long-term care campus located in North Smithfield and on the line of Blackstone, Mass. and Woonsocket. And on our property, we offer an expansive continuum of services that range from assisted living to short and long-term skilled care. We have a state-of-the-art rehab center, a private hospice suite, as well as a large secured memory care unit. And the two buildings on our property are the Villa at St. Antoine, which is our 76-apartment assisted living facility, and the Residence at St. Antoine, which is our 180-bed short and long-term skilled care facility. So if you're presently at a crossroads with your loved one, please reach out to me. I'd love to walk you through your options. I will just advise everybody we are very full, and we have a generous waiting list for both buildings right now. So please reach out in advance of making a tough decision like this, and give me a call at 401-767-3500. Thank you.
I'm thinking of putting my name in now
Yeah.
I know.
for a few years from now. So
I know. It's
just
not a bad problem to have in terms
Yeah.
of the industry. However, it is so hard to not help people when they need
the help.
The urgency is always there.
Right.
And this time of year, folks are going home. They're seeing loved ones for the first time in a while, and that's the panic call I get all week long. Before Christmas and after Christmas especially. So reach out now. Now's the time to do it. Yeah.
All right, very good. It is our Thanksgiving Eve program here on the Coffee Ann program, and so we'll start off with Tim. Your Thanksgiving traditions. Do you cook? Does your wife cook, or do you go somewhere?
Well, we've actually,
What's your
the
plans?
last few years we've gone somewhere, but this year we can't do anything because I don't even have a chair to sit in my house at the moment.
no oven either.
No oven, but next
okay.
year, if we decide to do it, we're going to have some nice double ovens. And
Oh, there you
nice
go.
Gas cooktops,
We're all
so-
invited.
All right,
And we're all invited.
Excellent.
Exactly.
We're all
yeah.
invited.
No, it's the tradition that we have is post Thanksgiving and post naps. We'll flip on the traditional start of the Christmas holiday season, Christmas vacation.
I
And
see.
We'll get together with my kids, go up to my daughters and rent them, and we will partake of that of
the
that
eggnog.
tradition. Right.
All right.
And
Very
there's a
good.
baby involved now. So
There's a baby
gonna
involved,
be-
but my youngest are like,
The baby
we're not
doesn't know
sure we're
what's
going to
going
be there
on.
because we
Yeah.
don't know what the sleeping schedule is going to be like.
Yeah.
And we said, well, we could come there. They go, that's not going to be helpful for sleeping schedule.
Oh, the baby will sleep.
Oh, the one
they'll
baby
sleep in the
syndrome where
car.
everything
It's the one
revolves
that- right,
around the one
right,
baby.
that's
By
right.
the second one, it's like, whatever.
Pack them up, put them in a suitcase, let's go.
You're up till 10 o'clock at night, dragging them from house to house. It's totally fine.
No, you hold him. No, you hold him.
That's right. No, it is all good. And yes, we'll see Mac during the day. So we're pretty excited.
All right, cool.
I love his
Melissa, do you cook on Thanksgiving or do you? You let someone else cook.
I have had one bad cooking experience on Thanksgiving, so I'm no longer allowed
Allowed
to be
cook?
the
Oh,
host.
boy, that's smart. I'm sure you planned that.
It was a devastating day for me.
You
Actually,
ruin it,
was
and then,
very,
well,
it
we
was very
can't
bad.
have
And
her
you know,
do it.
my in-laws live far enough away, so I can say this very truthfully on the air because they don't listen in.
Unless they're on the computer.
I was excited. We were in our house. I think this was 10 years ago. I think we were there for 2 years. We were sort of at that point, like, okay, like we're excited. Let's host. We're ready, right?
Okay.
And I am a good cook. I just want to say for the record, I know you haven't tasted my food. I'm an excellent cook,
We'll take your word
especially when
for
it
it.
comes to the sides of Thanksgiving. I get
All
really
right.
into it. The turkey was my first turkey to cook, so I was a little bit nervous. But my mom, for years, has always used an electric roasting oven. So
Okay.
on the counter, out of the way of the oven, so you have plenty of room. Something must have happened with the roasting oven, whatever.
Operator error.
Sliced into the
No.
turkey when it said it was done. It was a little raw on the
Little
inside.
raw on the inside.
So, and my mother-in-law let me know her displeasure for the time that it would take in addition to, and
Pizza
I
for
said it would be
everybody.
ready at a certain time, and let's just say I grabbed the bottle of red wine and went out into the front porch.
With a straw.
And basically, yep, got a good cry out of my system for the
Oh,
look I
that's
got,
so
and
funny.
I surrendered. So we've ever since then we go to my brother-in-law's house, who lives a mile from my mother-in-law. He fries a turkey; it's always perfect.
Oh,
we
all
hear
right.
how perfect it is every year from my mother-in-law, and I just bring the supports up. I bring a couple appetizers and whatever
Okay.
else. But we're up there basically for the day, and then we head back down to Rhode Island to my sister's house at night, which is super fun and cozy and relaxing because it's not my in-laws; it's my own family, and we have a great time.
Might I
So-
suggest the
Very cool.
annual viewing of Christmas Vacation? That's what
There you go.
Although now I'm going to have to fast forward through all the swearing when Matt gets old enough to understand what that stuff is. all
That's
about.
right.
It is
Oh,
such
back
a
to that.
tradition. Like that, I love that movie.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this to Dave. I have mentioned on the air. Just a reminder: when you do go to preheat the oven, make sure you check the oven that there's not a chocolate cake in there, which happened to me.
Oh, you stored a chocolate cake in the oven?
I did not. My wife did it and didn't tell me.
Oh,
Was it in a box?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was on a plate, and now we had a puddle.
Oh, well, you know.
But we
It's
had
hot
chocolate. We
mo-
had
chocolate
We
molten
had
cake.
chocolate infused turkey that year, and it was actually very tasty.
does anybody have cats? I'm not.
No.
I don't
we
have a
had a
cat.
cat when we first got married, and all I can remember is my first Thanksgiving as a married couple. Made a couple pies, put them on the counter, walked away,
Cat
came
jumped
back.
up?
Oh yeah, the cat got into all the pies on the counter. So I just,
My
wanted
wife-
to share that in case anybody
that's
is
My wife
listening.
made
funny.
a birthday cake once where she was getting into all this like fancy cake making, and she made one that were like little blocks, 2x2 blocks, and she stacked them and put frost. I mean, it was beautiful cake. It looked like it looked like a piece of like a dice. And we had a dog, Bailey, God rest her soul, who was big enough to be able to jump up on the counter. And we left the cake in the middle of the table for literally 2 minutes to go into another room. Came back, half the cake was gone.
Oh yeah,
And the dog's on a black dog with frosting all over
Oh,
all over its beak. It was so funny.
loving it. Okay, just things you don't think about, and then they happen. So there
Right,
you go.
right.
All right, moving on to things going on,
mistakes.
and it's funny what's going on over at Navigant. What with the changeover of the CEOs and like that, I go, boy, it's a microcosm of what just happened down at Walt Disney World.
Walt Disney World.
And,
right. Except Gary wasn't fired.
Although they didn't throw Gary out.
Right, they didn't throw Gary out. He's,
But and I don't think Bob Chapek keeps showing up.
No, but
at Disney,
that's what happens
But
when
Gary
you-
keeps showing up at Navigant.
right. Nick Gary works once a week.
Okay,
Calls a lot. I've talked to him since he's retired almost every day. So it's so funny.
that is.
But in the Disney situation, this is what happens when you hire Dr. Evil to run your empire. you lose a third of the value of your company.
Yeah.
You create havoc in the public domain. You charge your customers way more than
Way
they should
more.
be charged.
But to play devil's advocate, he came in at just the worst time. He
Well, he
took
did-
over right in like
did.
March of 2020.
He did come at the worst time, but a good leader navigates through that. And
Okay.
clearly, he was not the best leader.
Yeah.
Now, he may have been a good business manager. Somebody, like I've always said, you can run a business, but can you lead a business? That's a difference.
That's true. All right, I failed to mention that John Ward could not be here. He's on assignment, and he has graciously decided to join us on the phone.
Oh, excellent.
So here he is,
Hey.
Mr. John Ward. Hello, John.
Hello there.
Hey, there he is.
Hey.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
We can.
We can.
How's that muffin I sent down to
can.
you?
I'm having a little trouble hearing you, but I'm glad you can hear me. Sorry I couldn't be there this morning, and I hadn't realized that I would be driving down Route 95 in Maryland at the time the show was on, and I was just listening. and figured I'd just give a quick call in
All right.
and tell you I'm upset that I'm not able to enjoy some of the fine food that dinner's brought today.
It is, and it will not keep until next week,
I
John.
brought
So we're
you
going to
a-
eat it for you.
I brought you a
It
coffee
won't.
cake muffin.
No, I'm sure it won't. But but
And it's yummy.
I'm on my way to Virginia to be with my children and my grandchildren and enjoy a Thanksgiving dinner and not in the same way as the others. I'm bringing nothing, and I am simply a consumer.
Oh, good for you.
I hope you're bringing your wife. Is your wife sitting in the car next to you?
No, actually, she flew down on Sunday morning, so
Oh,
she could
so you're
spend the whole
driving-
week there. And so I'm driving down alone, and we'll be driving back together at the end of the week.
Wow.
All right. Now the question for you, John, and not to be a downer on this whole thing, but
I'm really having trouble hearing you, Joe. I'm sorry.
I could yell louder, but I don't think these guys are going to appreciate it. Well, maybe you can hear us. In Virginia? Are you near where the shooting took place at that Walmart in Chesapeake?
No. Well, actually, my younger son lives in Virginia Beach, which is near where that Walmart is, but by many miles, probably 20 or 30 miles. But he'll be coming up to Northern Virginia today to be with the family, with his wife and children,
Okay.
so we can all be together for Thanksgiving.
Well, I'm glad you're not near that area.
Virginia is one of those things where the two brothers live in the same state, and it's a 3.5-hour drive between them.
Yeah, it's not like Rhode Island.
It's not Rhode Island.
Yeah, not exactly Rhode Island.
Now, John, since you-
I just wanted to call in and wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and stay healthy and eat well.
we certainly will. Well, thanks for calling in, John.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
All
Happy
right.
All right, John,
Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving.
All right, bye now.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Take care.
Okay, bye. Now, back to what we were talking about earlier before John called, the whole Bob Iger, Bob Chapek thing. Do you find it odd that, Iger chose Bob Chapek to be his successor when he decided to, quote-unquote, retire?
Yeah.
And I guess there was just turmoil from the get-go, and
have
then
you
the
ever-
board of directors said, that's it, we got to get this guy out.
It's entirely possible that people interview well. So
Okay.
on the surface, man, it looks like these
I've got
people
these
are on
ideas.
fire.
It's gonna
Listen,
be
Bob
great.
Chapek was a rising star at Disney. He made a lot
Yes.
of money for the digital asset side of the house, I believe. So he did really, really well. But I think that he's one of those guys that thinks everything is digital and nothing is relationship.
Okay.
And I feel like it became a numbers game for him. And I could be wrong. This is my own personal speculation, but it seemed to me on the surface, with the prices of everything at Disney rising, and with all the political self-inflicted political turmoil that they created.
But was that Bob
And
Chapek
that was Bob
created that?
Chapek and responding to a minority of employees
Yeah.
in a very, I think, poorly executed public relations move.
Yeah, okay.
And which turned into a nightmare for Disney because, as we've talked about before, they're losing all their Reedy Creek special privileges in the state of Florida. Mm-hmm. And, you can't do that. That's worth billions in actual real dollars.
I think the board of
to
directors
Disney.
realized that and
And
said,
I think they
what
did.
is he
And if-
doing?
Right. And if you look at the value of the stock, it's dropped dramatically.
It's
since
a little
Iger
better.
left.
It's up
a little better now.
It's a little under $100 now.
Right. But that's because when did it start to get to that? It jumped a little bit when Iger.
we had Ed Carew
announced the
yesterday. He looked at
Yep.
it yesterday morning. It was $97 before
Yep.
trading yesterday.
Yep. So it's coming back.
Yeah.
Which is good, but they made it. The board made a change. I think it was the right change. Now, I don't think Bob's long term because, he did retire.
He's got a 2-year deal.
So then he's going to come in, stabilize and right the ship,
And then try to find
they'll
somebody.
try to find somebody.
Okay.
Probably not easy to find somebody who. Walt Disney was the creative genius behind the company, and his brother Roy was the business guy.
Right.
It's hard to find both those people in the same
In one
person.
person.
I would argue that Michael Eisner was that kind of person.
Yeah.
And Bob Iger is that kind of person because they understand that you have to allow the creative side at Disney to do the things they do that makes Disney the place people want to go to. Mm-hmm. And if you satisfy that constituency, then
The money
your
will
business side
follow.
will follow.
Yeah.
Right? And Eisner did a couple of small strategic things very early on in his career that helped Disney write their financial ship back in '82 or '3 or something when he came in. But then when Iger came in, he really allowed those creative people to do what they do best. and their movie franchises were huge. Their parks were firing on all cylinders. So there was a lot of good things happening at Disney under Iger. Now, like with everything, a leader stays in a position long enough and things start to, well, it's time for me to go, And I think he felt like he could make an exit, had a succession plan. But you know what? You sometimes just swing and a miss.
Right. Okay, a little bit more on this will come up. We've got to take a break right now. So, Melissa, it's time for a second message from the St. Antoine communities, please.
Actually, I'll just do a follow-up on my message from last week. I had reached out for a few weeks asking folks to generously donate to our Thanksgiving baskets, and it turned out to be a huge success, and we were able to help 15 families this Thanksgiving season with your generosity, so I wanted to say thank you. Similarly, we're doing a toy drive for Christmas, so if you feel as though there's an opportunity for you to donate some toys to St. Antoine community, we have some families that we've identified that could use your help. It doesn't have to be toys either. It could be gift cards. We all know that right now times are tough. So grocery gift cards, Walmart, gas, whatever it might be, are all welcomed. Just stop by either lobby at either building on our property. So I always forget to mention the fact that we have 2 buildings on our property, but there's 2 different addresses. So it confuses the heck out of a lot of people. But they're both on the same property, I swear. One is located at 400 Mendon Road and one is 10 Rhodes Ave. It's right at the corner of that property. So stop by either building at the front desk and drop them off. We would greatly appreciate your help. If you have any questions, you can reach me at 401-767-3500. Thank you.
Okay, more Coffee Hands coming up. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
Coffee and on ON, AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Tim Draper and Melissa Smith is here. And of course, it's really a wish list, Melissa, when you think about Disney. And will Bob Iger come in and will he just get rid of all the nickel and diming that has been done to the consumers over the last year and a half or so? Magic Bands used to be free, and now you had to pay for them. And a Fast Pass used to be free, and now you had to pay the.
It's not even Fast Pass. It's that.
No, we changed. Well, that's why we changed the name of it to the Genie Plus, and that cost money. Or you got the Lightning Lane, and that costs, and everything was just. We need more money from you.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing, though, it wasn't really a nickel and diming, but they have their special events, their Halloween party, their Christmas party. Those things doubled in price. If you wanted to attend, I'm like what?
And you sit
Like, it was
here.
$35 2 years ago, and now it's $80. I'm like, what?
I was sitting here thinking when you were talking, Tim, and I feel like the best way to summarize what's happening is like it stretched too far. And I feel like that's what's happened. The last day that I had down in Disney, we talked about this when I got back. It was in the middle of the pandemic, and I know things were changed, and you had to kind of adapt. There were no fireworks, whatever else. But I was thinking during our stay, we were at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Half the building was empty because it was COVID times, and I think it was staff related actually more than it was even demand, right? But I looked around, and I'm like, this place is ginormous. Times how many other resorts? Times how many other opportunities to stay in the Orlando area, and it just didn't feel full. Again, I know it was pandemic. It was a year ago, so it was kind of coming out of it. But I thought the whole time I was there, I was like, when I was a kid, it was simple. It was simple. You had just a couple parks to go to. You show up in the morning. You didn't have to worry about getting there 2 hours ahead of time to get in, to race to the ride, because you didn't get the fast pass for that day. So if anything, you had to get in there and run to the. it wasn't any of that like panicky feeling. It was a vacation.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Yeah.
everything that's driving Disney now is planning and
Yeah.
saving, and it's just
Yeah.
it's a lot of just extra added stress, and it's taking away from the spirit of what it's supposed to be, which is a family vacation. And when you're talking about the nickel and diming thing, you can no longer say, okay, I'm saving to go on a Disney trip Halloween time, let's say in October. It's now, okay, I need to allow extra money for the Halloween party, or
Yeah.
I know they have a lot of other like meet and greet opportunities with characters, not just the dinners, but
Yeah.
other ones now, and special ice cream sundaes on the boat on the water, and there's all these experiences that are add-ons, and it's like
Right.
as itself it was already very expensive. So I just wonder when they got to the point where they were reaching too far beyond, and now it just seems money driven,
Yeah.
not experience for the family to have memories to walk away with.
Well, again, you got to, as a company, they are beholden to the shareholders, right? They
Yeah.
have to drive value, and I get
course.
that. I'm
Yep.
not begrudging them that at all, but I'm going to go back to our previous CEO and even our current CEO, and I know we've said it a million times on the air, but he always said there were three constituencies that we had to satisfy, we had to serve in our capacity. That was our customers, our members. We had to take care of them, treat them like family. Employees, because they deliver that service that treats our members like families, so we got to treat them like families. And then we got to be good to the communities, because they provide us with the success that we've been fortunate enough to have. But if you do those three things and you do them well and not necessarily worry about the bottom line, you will be successful.
Right.
And he's been 100% right for his 44 years there.
Right.
We're always monitoring the bottom line. That's crazy. You want to make sure that you're
Right,
running
yeah.
efficiently and you're doing all those business things that you need to do. But a lot of times, I just think people lose sight of what made them successful. And, Disney's an entertainment company. That's what they are. That's what they should be focused on, which means putting the money into the creative side, putting the money into the customer experience side. Bad customer experience is nickel and diming them for everything that you do in
Right.
Disney.
Right.
It's producing lousy movies because you want to be part of everything else that the movie production companies are trying to do out there, which is sex and violence.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever happened to the animated movies that they did? Well, nobody goes to them. Well, you can put them on streaming TV and people will watch.
Yeah.
But it's that, and people want to escape.
They do.
They want to get out of the reality for a while. I mean, I'm tired of waking up every day and hearing breaking news.
You're right.
And it's some other lousy thing that's happened in the world.
It's another shooting.
It's another shooting, and I'm tired of it. That's why I'm going to Disney next week, because I'm not going to think about it for
That's
5
right.
days.
You can get away from
Celebrate
it.
my in-laws' 60th wedding anniversary. We're going to have some dinners. We're going to have some fun. We're
Yeah.
going to see the Christmas thing, which did cost me twice as much as it did.
Well, and that's I
Oh,
think
yeah.
feel like we almost should like stop this conversation, because I don't want to go down a path where we're now going to bring attention to all the
No, I
things that
know.
you're going to be
I know.
focused on while you're there for a week.
Right.
But it's true. It's you should be excited about your trip, and hopefully it used to have like an all-inclusive feel if you were staying at the resorts where you
Right.
could just kind of go and everything.
Yeah.
Now it's not, and it does feel a little bit more like the add-ons are more noticeable. But
So, Bob, if you're listening,
Maybe Gary wants to be CEO at Disney.
that'd be awesome.
Oh,
He could be
wow.
good at it, too.
I bet he would be
good.
good at it. So throw it up to him when you see him in the office tomorrow.
I will. See
today.
him on Friday.
When you're down there, one of the coolest things I saw when I was there last, during the fireworks, like right at the end of the fireworks, there's a woman that plays Tinkerbell. She's gonna be like 5 foot tall, but she's on a zip line from the top of the castle, and it goes towards Tomorrowland.
oh,
Oh, you know
but
what?
it's a good 500 yards
Yeah.
of her
Flying
I'm
across.
like, and she's smiling as she's doing it. I go, this is a long zip line that
Yeah.
she is on.
Right.
And they do it so well because she starts at the top of the castle and you never see her land.
Right.
It's the way the line is
Is that the one that
goes
lands
and
behind Tomorrowland?
It does.
Land in the back?
It lands like behind Carousel of Progress.
Yeah.
So you actually can't see her
Yeah.
land. I said, well, someone was thinking there.
Somebody was-
That was pretty smart.
Yeah,
so.
somebody was thinking.
All right, so Disney's coming up there. We did talk a little bit about the shooting in Virginia, shooting in Colorado, and then we had the crash in Hingham, Massachusetts.
That's a weird deal.
It is weird. And have you heard his defense?
His defense is his foot got stuck on the gas pedal and
Stuck-
couldn't get it out.
And then he was hitting the brake with his left foot and couldn't stop the car.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's really odd.
body language is a lot. It counts for a lot of things. And when I saw the guy in court, I don't know. I just didn't get a sense of real remorse.
No
there.
remorse, no.
I mean, if that really happened to you, man, I'd be a blathering idiot in court. Like, oh my God, what did I do? I can't believe this happened. This is it's my fault. I'm sorry.
But I'm not. You
So
guys,
he's saying, I'm sorry, he's saying his foot got stuck between the pedal and the brake.
stuck on the pedal.
Stuck on the pedal.
How often does that happen?
Well, I will tell you, I've actually had the instance when the car was not in drive.
Yeah.
That I was getting out of the car while it was running, and my foot did get stuck between the gas pedal
I
and
was
the
going to
brake.
say between.
Okay.
And then trying to step on the brake, and then trying to pull
Move
your
your
foot
foot
out.
out.
And I can see maybe panicking and do, but it just didn't. I don't know.
But what I
It
don't
just-
understand is, I don't know if you guys have ever been to this shopping area in Hingham, Mass.
Yeah.
You have?
It's beautiful.
Okay. Have you been there, Tim?
Not in
To the
Hingham.
Derby
Is it
Streets?
Not Braintree. No,
No, it's
I haven't
Hingham.
been that one. No.
But he had to come down a road. He could have taken a right, and I don't know where you go from there. But he picked the store specifically that did not have those pillars in front of it to stop him.
So I'm saying
went,
I didn't see a lot of remorse. There's something
Well, that's-
behind
that's
I
that.
didn't
we
different.
don't
see
know.
that
Like,
yesterday,
so-
but now I'm feeling like I want to watch it.
So
'cause
just
I think
just
you're
go,
right. If you've
All
had
right.
that kind of an accident moment, you're
Right. Yeah.
You're feeling heavy.
All right, we're gonna break from what we're talking about right now because we're being joined on the telephone by Kevin Callahan. Yes, that's my brother. And Kevin is our
hello.
play-by-play guy for high school football. We got high school football tonight and tomorrow. Good
Yes.
morning to you, Kevin.
Good morning, Joe. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. Say hi to
Happy
Tim and Melissa.
Thanksgiving.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Tim. Melissa? How are you?
Good.
Good.
All right, so tonight we have Central Falls and Lincoln at 5:30 at Ferguson Field in Lincoln. It'll be you and Lou Mandeville. And how do you think Central Falls is going to do in this? I asked because Central Falls went to the Super Bowl and came up on the short end. Do you see a letdown here?
I think it's going to be tough in the sense that they just played 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And Lincoln hasn't played in 17 days, 18
Okay.
days or so. But what Central Falls has going for them, Joe, you and I did the game. They got a couple of real good players.
Yes.
It's also
Quick
head
players.
coach Jeff Lapierre's last game ever. He's retiring.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. So yes,
the
win-win
kids
for the
might
coach.
be yeah, win-win for the Gipper, as they say.
yeah, okay. And it's funny that this football season has been it's been a contrast. We looked at the teams that we follow here in Northern Rhode Island, Woonsocket, Cumberland, Lincoln, all got off to such fantastic starts, and then something happened in October, and they all tanked at the same time.
Brendan and I called it the ON jinx.
Yeah, every game we
Oh,
did.
jinx.
Every game we did, they lost.
Oh, great.
So it'll be interesting to see, what Lincoln team shows up on tonight to play. So we get that game tonight at 5:30. Then we have the annual Cumberland Woonsocket game tomorrow. That'll be at 10 in the morning. Don't listen to the promo that I did that says the game's at 10 o'clock at night.
10 p.m.
Yeah. So we have you need a 10-hour pregame show, Kevin. Okay, tomorrow.
10-hour pregame. Okay,
Yes.
I don't have that much information.
So okay, let's start putting that together. But 9:30 is the pregame show for tomorrow. Kevin's got some things lined up. Got some good history about Cumberland and their pre-Thanksgiving, not pre-Thanksgiving, but their Thanksgiving games before Woonsocket. Who did they play before Woonsocket, Kevin?
Yeah, in 1962 they played Middletown, Rhode Island.
Wow.
and won the game. And in 1963 they played Bishop Feion and
Really?
shut them out. And I think that was Bishop Feion's first year as a football team.
Okay.
If not, it was their second. And then the rivalry began with Woonsocket in 1964.
Woonsocket
And
might have still
continued
been.
to-
Woonsocket might have still been playing Mount St. Charles at that time before Mount gave up their football program.
Yeah,
at
they
the time.
we're talking about Mount in the 30s, 40s, and early 50s, and then picked up Butterville from the 50s to the mid 60s before picking up
Oh.
Cumberland,
Wow.
where
Okay.
they've remained stable.
Yeah.
This begins
So-
58 or 59 now in the Thanksgiving series.
So the Cumberland Woonsocket rivalry is it's pretty big in the state. How many is it? The second longest in the state?
I mean, it's the second longest continuous,
Okay.
with no interruption, with the exception of COVID, but that interrupted everybody.
Yeah, we don't count that.
So I'm not counting that. You still got Westerly, Stonington, but that crosses. That had a couple of interruptions here and there.
Yeah.
East Providence, LaSalle, which Joe Dad played in that rivalry.
Well, he
back in
suited
the
up.
40s.
Let's say I don't know if he actually played.
he dressed. But
So,
no, real interest in I was looking up really quick. The back in 1947, there were 8 Thanksgiving games.
Yep.
55,000 people across those 8 games.
That's
showed up.
that's a lot of attendance.
Yeah, including 5,500 at Barry Field.
Wow. I don't think you're going to see 5,500 tomorrow.
No,
But
Coach
hey, you never
Debo is
know.
expecting about 2,000.
That's about right. Okay.
And the weather's going to cooperate too, I heard. It's going to be a
Yes.
good day for football tomorrow.
Oh, it's going to be a good night tonight and a good day tomorrow. There was only one game that had really bad weather. Joe, do you recall that game?
Yes, because I was there, holding an umbrella and trying to write on wet paper. It was really difficult. In a pouring
Underwater
monsoon. I don't know what you do with the paper though. So what do you see tomorrow, Kevin? When you look at Cumberland versus Woonsocket, pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, very evenly matched. It's pretty interesting in the sense that Woonsocket is coming in averaging 17 points a game score, and Cumberland gives up 17 points a game. Cumberland scores 23 points a game, and Woonsocket gives up 23 points a game.
Wow.
So we're looking at on paper a Cumberland 23-17 victory. But,
We don't have to play.
Joe,
It's all set.
It's all tied.
So the game
they don't
is.
put the games on paper, though.
That's right. There's a good cliche. So it's you and Lou Mandeville for tonight for Central Falls and Lincoln, and then it's you and Brendan tomorrow with Cumberland and Woonsocket. You'll be talking a little bit to Marty Crowley, AD at Cumberland. He'll be down at the game, so you can pick his brain during the pregame or during halftime or something like that. And
Yep.
And we'll see who Brendan can come up with for the Woonsocket side as well. Want to keep things even as well. So we look forward to the games, Kevin, and congratulations on your first season. It was pretty interesting, for the lack of a better word, right?
Yeah, absolutely, very interesting, but a lot of fun. And what was nice was the games really got better as they went along. We covered some real good ones down the stretch, including the Central Falls playoff game that you and I did, Joe.
Yeah, that was real good. So 2 more games, and then you can take a little break, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, Kevin, thanks for joining us, and good luck tonight and tomorrow morning.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
You too.
Thanksgiving. Okay, bye now. Nepotism is alive and well here at the Area Decision. Well, he wasn't doing anything, so there we go. All right, time for a break here on the Coffee and Program, and this weather report being brought to you by Unbound.org.
Sunny skies today with a high of 49 and a light west wind. Tonight, clear, overnight low of 29. Thanksgiving Day, sunshine and 45. Friday, 70% chance of rain likely, mainly after 3 p.m. Mostly cloudy skies, high of 53. Saturday, back to the sunshine and 50 degrees. Sunday, rain likely again, mostly cloudy and 57. Monday, sunshine again with a high of 49, and next Tuesday, sunny and 46.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we do have mostly clear skies and 40 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change the world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org.
Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
When you visit the Menard Locature Funeral Home's website, you'll find a wealth of important information, including frequently asked questions about the various options of pre-planning funeral etiquette, visitation, personal help to help the family, and many others. Remember, pre-planning is safe and helpful to family members who may be overwhelmed with details and responsibilities. It also assures that the deceased's final wishes are met. Their website will also feature several photos of their 2 beautiful and classic funeral homes at 127 Carrington Avenue, Woonsocket, and 71 Central Street, Manville. You'll be treated with courtesy and understanding. Their main phone number is 762-1825. Menard Locature Funeral Homes.
ON Radio. ON Worldwide.
Hi, this is Romeo Berthium inviting you to join me every Saturday morning from 6 to 9 for The Saturday Show. This all-request program includes music, news, sports, weather, and all sorts of community announcements. And what a great way to start your weekend. Join me this Saturday morning.
ON Radio. ON Worldwide.
Thanks for joining us here on the Coffee and program. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Smith and Tim Draper. And Tim, time for your first message from Navigant Credit Union.
Show's flying by, Joe. So it's the holiday season, folks, and if you are wondering what you need to get people, because, well, if you're like me, it's hard to figure out what people who have stuff want. So we like to say that you could give the gift of anything by coming to the credit union and picking up your Navigant Credit Union gift cards. So they are available at all of our branches, all of our 23 locations throughout the state, and certainly right here in Park Square. Just go on in and pick those cards up. There's a cost to getting a gift card. There usually is, but ours are less than market value, so that's a pretty good deal. If you want to go in and get a $100 gift card or something like that for one of your loved ones, because you're struggling with what to get them the gift of anything. NavigantCU.org, 1280 Park Avenue, or 233-4700. That's the number.
All right, Tim, very good. All right, Melissa, hate to bring up a sore subject.
This does not sound good.
I'm going to anyway. Taylor Swift.
We're going back to this.
Because I remember.
I missed the show.
Oh, that was awesome. But anyway, last week we mentioned, because I mentioned to you, I said, well, you missed out on the whole verified pre-sale debacle
Right.
thing. And I said, oh, well, but is there going to be a day where tickets go on sale to the general public? And you said, oh, yeah, it's going to go on sale this Friday, and we're going to try to get tickets then. And then the very next day, Ticketmaster comes out and says, we've got nothing left. And I'm like, oh, my God. Melissa must be fuming that now she's not waiting for this day to buy tickets and now can't.
Yeah.
And so how did your daughters take this?
They're not doing
wonderful
well.
news. Not doing well.
They're in therapy right now as we speak.
I will say my youngest, who they're both really big fans, but my youngest is handling it much better than my oldest.
older
So my
one?
oldest being 15, she was the one that texted me midday in class like,
Well, it's drama.
did we get the email with the
Yes.
code? Because all of my friends are getting their tickets. What's happening? I don't understand. Because, of course, like the kids in school were getting alerts from their parents when
Right.
they got tickets. So it suddenly became everyone has them but me feeling.
Is that-
but that's not the
but
case.
that's really not the
it's
case.
Really not. It's just a teenage mindset of
Oh, yeah.
everyone around me has them,
But
but
not
I don't.
me.
And so then I, of course, that night texting parents all over the place and made a little list of all the kids that don't have them.
Oh, there you go.
And I
Okay.
said I'd be more than happy to host a T-Swizzle something or other, backyard something or other. Like, we will make the best of it. It is what it is. What are you going to do? I physically cannot do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you missed the whole, like, I would have even stretched my dollar
I
and gone
know
a
you
little beyond
would've.
because it is that, it
Important.
means that much to my kids, but also I'm a fan. And it is a great show. And
Yeah.
it is a lot of money, but I would have maybe, however, I jumped on, what did I say? I jumped on StubHub
Oh, like
or one of
StubHub or
those.
race ticket or something like that. And
The
pricing.
300s at Gillette, Tim.
300
Okay.
section.
Nosebleed seats. Yep.
That's where I was for the only show I went to for T-Swizzle and still paid more
A
than
lot.
I should have for those seats. And I said that to myself. I will never pay this much for this
Yeah.
seat again, but I would be happy to pay more and sit a little lower. Yeah. So the seats that I had for the last concert I went to were going for $1,000 a piece in the 300s, nosebleed.
Yeah.
So, of course, my daughter's response, and it would have only been for my two girls, myself, and my sister, who has boys, and this is like her lifeline to teenage girls and enjoying those memories together. My daughter's like, Mom, I
Well,
work.
just do it. Yeah.
I work. Like, I'll pay
work.
for my own ticket. I'm like, Allison, it's
How you gonna-
$1,000 a ticket. Like, your whole savings account right now, she just got her first job this summer, is like $1,000, which
it's
is
a
great. I'm like,
wipe
you're
it
willing
out.
to wipe it all out? She's like, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I work
that's-
every weekend, and I'm looking at her. I'm like, you're not even driving yet. You're going to... Anyway, she doesn't know the value of a dollar, but I also
Yeah.
had to point out to her, your sister, myself, your aunt, it's $3,000. Like, no, I'm not paying for that. It's
Now,
insane.
What's your thinking then on Taylor Swift came out and made a statement?
I know. I don't blame
And-
her. You know...
Well, you can't blame her.
You can't. You
But,
can't.
But what she came out and said was basically, well, what are you going to do? And she kind of said, well, maybe we can throw together some more shows.
What I think
I'm like,
would have
that's what-
probably...
that's
Show
what
in
you
her
had to
backyard
say?
and watch Hill and have the state of Rhode Island come down.
Well, she sold that house, Tim. Keep up on your T-Swizzle.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Obviously not a fan.
So it's just Jay Leno that lives in Rhode Island.
Yeah, that's right. And his
but
burned
I
hands.
think if she had she had two shows booked to begin with.
Yeah.
And then she added the third.
Added the
so
third.
when we all pre-registered, there was only two shows, right? Because she announced the third before this disaster happened, I think there's no physical way. I've been to her show. There's no way she could do 4 shows in a row and then a week later hop to another state, do 4
do
shows in a
more.
row, hop to another. It's insane. I was already shocked at 3 shows in a row and hopping a week later to another spot. So she can't physically do that. I don't blame her, but I also think this is her farewell tour for a bit. So I'm
she might
feeling
take a
like,
few-
know,
it's
is what
too
it
bad.
is.
And
Life is full of disappointments.
Yeah.
everyone.
and that was the other lesson I was able to teach my
teach-
children.
yes.
Yes,
There you
we
go.
will. We
Life-
are all going to survive. It's going to be okay.
Right, we're gonna be okay.
life is not fair.
Life is not fair.
And this is one of those things where you don't get what you want.
Right.
Sorry.
Well, we'll tie Disney
We'll
into
move it
this.
on.
We did definitely have
There
a
you
conversation
go.
about that. I said we can't go to Disney every year.
Every year.
And this is why. And telling them how much it
And
costs.
I know, but
doesn't
I know,
resonate.
but they might even know. And I've run into people that not only do they go once a year, they go 2 or 3 times a year.
How do
Well,
they
do
do
they have
that?
Disney Vacation
They're
Club?
part of the vacation
Yeah.
club, which is, and I've actually looked into that, and I'm like, oh my God, is that a lot of money?
It's still
Well,
a lot.
it's a lot of money when you buy the points up front.
The
and
points,
then
yeah.
you spread them out over the 30 years or whatever it is. And then you still have to buy tickets when you get
Oh,
there.
sure.
They're discounted, but you got to buy them when you get there, and then you got to get there,
yeah.
which is
it's a
really the
lot.
problem right
really
now.
hard.
I actually had someone at Disney tell me, well, how often do you come to Disney? I said, once every 5 years. They said the vacation club is not for you.
Right.
It'll never pay for itself.
Right. You gotta go every year,
You
every
have
other
got
year.
to go at least once a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks. That's good info.
Because you can bank points and borrow
Well,
points
right.
from different. So you really have
Yeah.
a 3-year window to use all of your points.
Exactly.
So Tim, on another note, we had the news story today that in Rhode Island, starting on December 1st, the Compassion Centers to sell recreational marijuana is going to start. Rhode Island is allowing 5 stores to open: Central Falls, Providence, Pawtucket, Warwick, and Portsmouth. I'm a little surprised because Central Falls, Providence, Pawtucket is right in that. They're all within 3
Yep.
miles of each other.
Yep, urban cities.
Where does Navigant Credit Union stand on having Compassion Centers as clients? Do you still not take them?
yeah.
What's the deal?
So it's still a very listen. Whether
It's
the
a
states
federal thing.
approve it or not, federally it's a Class A substance and
Right.
it is illegal. So we are regulated by the federal government, and we are standing away from
that kind of business.
marijuana businesses right now. Now that doesn't mean we're not looking at if that law changes. What are the opportunities? I think we're ready to rock and roll when that happens. But at the moment, it's it sounds easy. Because the states did it, so it must be legal. Well,
It's not,
It's
yeah.
not. And if you're a federal, I think it's if you're a federal contractor, or you're regulated by the federal government. We're regulated by the state government, but we're also regulated by NCUA, and that's a federal government, federal agency. So,
Well, what about? And I hate for you to speak for other institutions, but banks and others they're regulated by the FDIC.
they are,
So-
and they're willing to take that risk for whatever reason. But
Okay.
and the reality is, we've talked to lots of legal professionals. Nobody's pushing the issue, but we have a conservative board of directors who are ultimately responsible for making decisions like this, and they are unwilling to put their personal reputations on the line and be, with our luck, be the first to get challenged. And, we would probably lose because it's still a Class 1 illegal substance on the federal government side. Now, I think there's a push now at the federal level to actually take marijuana off.
There is,
The
and
list.
I've
And
heard
as soon as that
when
happens,
when the new
to-
Congress comes in,
Right. When that happens, that's a different discussion.
Yeah.
But for right now,
It's still just no.
there's a lot of money to be made,
Yeah,
and it's very lucrative. But we're not willing to take the risk.
You got to be like Bob
Our
Iger
members are
and
not
worry
willing
about
to
the
take
bottom line all the time.
Right. It's too bad. For a while we were not even banking businesses that did business with marijuana businesses. And that, so like a guy who's doing landscaping for a company that is a recreational based marijuana sales business, we wouldn't bank those.
Wow.
That's loosened up a little bit, I think, case by case. We look at those and make sure that they're not invested in those businesses and such. But
So-
it did put a lot of people in. I had a really good friend, guy at my wedding, who had money at the credit union. And when the board made their decision a few years back about not doing any business with any marijuana businesses, direct or indirect, he called me up and goes, I got a letter from you guys. I gotta take my money out. I'm like, what do you mean you gotta take your money out? He goes, I have a client in Canada that sells marijuana. Actually, I'm not sure they sold it. I think they might have been a greenhouse
Grow it
or
or
something.
something?
It might have been a grower.
Okay.
He goes, and because I do business with those guys, your compliance team So
Well,
that can't be. And he understood.
wow.
He goes, I understand that it's still illegal federally in the U.S., but it's who I do business with. And he goes, so I got to take my money. I'm like, okay. I felt bad.
Okay, Melissa, what's the thinking at the rule?
They're going to start growing it at the.
It's a
What a-
cringeworthy direction
what
that we're going to go into.
It is.
Oh, here we
What
go.
about residents that use medical marijuana?
This whole time I was hoping he wouldn't go there with this question.
And here we are.
And now here we are. I don't know if
So
anybody
we can
does.
have a personal conversation as well as the appropriate response. So right now, you're not allowed to reside at St. Antoine Community if you're
Okay.
using any kind of recreational marijuana use. Even at this point, like medicinally prescribed by your doctor,
Still can't use it.
no, because we can't regulate portions, and it can't be distributed or dispensed by a registered nurse under a license from Department of Health. So
Okay.
do I think that's going to change at some point? Yes, absolutely has to. I think this generation coming through right now, this is their lifeline for relief for whatever they're going through. So I do think we're going to start to see a shift in that direction because there's a lot of benefits. We know, especially for Parkinson's and MS patients, a lot of benefits as well as mental health. We have a lot of war veterans in our residents, and I have to say, like, just managing mental health and emotions and depression and anxiety and by cases of bipolar, even there are definitely proven statistics that support the use of it.
All right.
So having those folks come in, being accustomed to that, and no longer having access to that, is
What about-
frustrating for them.
You don't have to answer this question if you feel you shouldn't. But I'm looking at the people that are in the assisted living
Yep.
area that don't have to have it regulated by a nurse, that just go out and get it for themselves.
Right. So that's different. That could be happening right now, and I would
Yeah.
have no idea because the
Okay.
way that you approach assisted living under licensure is you are very much, still independent.
Right.
To make choices for yourself. You come into our dining room, and if you're a diabetic or you're gluten intolerant, whatever it is, you have to make the right choices for yourself. It's no different in this conversation as well. But it is a non-smoking campus. So that
okay.
takes one option off the table.
I'm thinking.
But other
I'm really
option-
thinking the edibles that
The
they're
edible,
offering.
right, exactly. So, I mean, from that standpoint, it could be happening right now.
It is.
Absolutely under the roof. I mean, we don't do bag checks, drawer checks, anything like that. This
Room
is not,
check, it's not prison.
But I have thought about that
on
going
the
back to, we've talked about in college, I was an RA, and there were so many tiers to training. I mean, we would show up to school like 2 weeks beforehand and go through all these rigorous trainings about drug use and signs and this. I mean, how do you even know what to look for anymore? And
Right.
everything is just so disguised and readily available. And even if I were to challenge you, like, Tim, you look a little happy today, or a little off, or a little glossy, or a little whatever. You have these
what
four
do
or
you-
five
I've been
things
called
that you're
glossy
noticing.
before.
What have you been
I
doing?
mean, it could be the muffins from Phantom Farms.
Could be. It's a sugar high.
Did you slip something into them? But it's tough. This is going to be an ongoing conversation because it goes
Yeah.
back to just being under the influence and what does that mean, whether it's alcohol or drug based, and even as a manager, as an employee situation, and questioning that kind of behavior. It's a slippery slope.
Okay.
What I feel sad about, you need to take a break.
We do.
Okay. I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay. Tim, time for your second message.
it's still to me.
So keep talking, Tim.
Take your second message.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tease something here that's gonna be launched. I think it's next week on December 1st. It's a revamped student checking account.
Okay.
It's what we're calling it our Embark account, and it's a digital spend account. And we recognize that young folks save their money. They get allowances, do jobs, whatever it is, and they basically want to spend that money somewhere. So rather than keep cash on them, and we're teaching them to save their money in an account. In this case, the Embark account, you'll be given a debit card. There are no fees on this account at all. There's no overdraft fees because we're not going to overdraft anything for you. So you really have to learn how to manage your money.
Okay.
And if you don't have enough money in your account, try to use a debit card. It won't work.
It's not going to work. Okay.
So there's a lot of harsh life lessons here, but they're good lessons, we think, because they're really, these are practical things that you're going to have to know later on in life. But there's also some education that goes along with this account. So it's a really good version of our student checking account. There's no ATM fees. So we'll talk more about it as it rolls out, but I just wanted to tease it a little bit. And if you're a parent out there and you're thinking that you'd like to get your young person 13 years or older, so you can be 13 years, we can open up one of these Embark accounts for you starting next week, and they can begin their financial journey.
All right, very good. More Coffee and coming your way. We ask you to please stick around. So you're remodeling your home, and you want to find just the right flooring. So off you go to DRL Carpet. Why? Because they have the best selection and prices in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. That means you don't have to wait. Plus, it means you can get it installed now. So first you get the best price, next you get the best service, and you get the best selection. Whether you're looking for carpet, tile, hardwood floors, the place to shop is DRL Carpet, 27 Veterans Way, Woonsocket, next to World War II Veterans Memorial Park. DRL Carpet reminds you there's a big difference between getting the job done and getting the job done right. DRL Carpet of Woonsocket.
Nicotine addiction is hard to overcome, but impossible? No. People who want to quit smoking, vaping, or chewing tobacco can double their chances of success by using the free Rhode Island Nicotine Helpline. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW for free coaching by phone, online tools, and NRT gum, patches, or lozenges to help you quit for good. Call 1-800-784-8669. Brought to you by the Rhode Island Department of Health and Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
It is Coffee In here on ON, AM, and FM. Joe Callahan here, Melissa Smith, and Tim Draper. And Tim, you wanted to follow up on the whole marijuana thing?
Part of me is kind of sad because we just spent so much time and effort and money getting people to quit smoking.
Yeah.
Right? Just stop smoking. It's not good for you. I've started to see some studies out there that say that marijuana could be worse for you, lung cancer-wise,
I've heard that
than
like 40
cigarettes.
years ago. There's
Right?
more nicotine in it or
But more
something.
importantly, I just came back from Las Vegas, which is not my favorite city, but
Yeah.
there's always been smokers there. You'd always smell a smoke when you go in the casinos. Now you add to that the smell of marijuana, and it's
they
just
allow
like,
it in the casinos too?
Well, I don't know if it's allowed.
Oh, but
it's
happening.
there.
Okay.
And you walk down the street and you just get these whiffs of this skunk
Here it
smelling
comes,
stuff.
yeah.
And, it's like, wow. Maybe figure out a way to make them all edible. Maybe that's different. But just I'm from an environmental standpoint, I'm kind of sad that everybody in the world wants to legalize marijuana and just everybody's going to start smoking it now, because that means that I'm going to have to go out and start smelling it, which is not something it's unfortunate.
I don't know, and I just wonder if it's a cost thing. Is it cheaper to get the marijuana that you smoke as opposed to the edibles?
I don't know. There's a bunch of taxes on cigarettes, right? They're like $12, $13 a pack now or something like that, I think my friend said.
Depending on what state you're in.
Yeah, I guess, right? So how much tax
I don't know.
How many taxes are levied on marijuana, I wonder?
I don't know. And if you needed cigarettes, you should have talked to John.
While you're in Virginia,
they're
grab a couple of cartons.
much cheaper down there because the taxes are much
Why am I
less.
feeling like I heard that there's so in an effort to move away from alcoholic beverages and segue into now medicinal use and not recreational use of marijuana, why did I think I heard that there were beverages being created with marijuana in it?
I have heard that
as
too.
an alternative to drinking, and I thought to myself, well,
what's the
confusing,
difference,
right? So you're coming off of one. Maybe you're slightly addicted to drinking. You're trying to get away from it, trying to reduce that habit.
Right.
So I'm going to go over here, and now I'm going to have this as an alternative option. But I'm thinking to myself, even if it chills you out, and I forgot what brand I had heard about, but there's a celebrity behind it. I'll have to try to find it before we get together next week. But I was overthinking it probably, but I'm like, what's the difference? So either I'm drinking this, and it's chilling me out, maybe not in an addiction form of what maybe wine or vodka or whatever. I was confused by the whole marketing pitch of it, but I have a feeling it's going to catch traction, and I think you're going to start to see more alternatives leading you towards this marijuana type product.
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, it's tough enough right now. With I have a teenage daughter. I don't know about your teenage daughter, but my teenage daughter loves the Monster drinks.
Yep. No, we haven't gone in there.
Red Bull,
yeah.
Red Bull, Monster.
And I worry about those because I don't think I have a nephew that overdrank those, and he was having some rapid heart issues, and I don't think they understand the content of caffeine in those drinks and sugar.
When she brought a can into the house, I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Oh, well, everybody does it, kind of thing.
They don't even taste very good.
I like.
No, they
I go. Those things are lousy for you.
I am just old, man.
Yeah.
That is the problem. I keep thinking to myself, there was a time I probably wouldn't have thought bad about any of this stuff, and now I'm like, God.
But
I
they
am
use
You're
it.
so
old.
uncool, Tim.
I am uncool.
It helps you.
I
Stay
am
up.
the old fart. I get it now.
No, I mean it's
It helps you stay up. It helps you. Listen to their excuses. It helps you study more. Blah blah blah. I said, but it's awful for you.
Right.
And they just don't
It doesn't
grasp
really
that
help you
just
study if
yet.
it's mellowing you out and it's calming you down.
You can see the exhaustion of raising teenagers today, though, because it's that constant eat healthy, stay
Right.
active. Like you're trying to push the
Right.
healthy options, and in the background they're doing things like consuming
and those
monster
are
drinks.
from parents who can be part of their kids' lives.
Right.
There's far probably more of the ones that can't really participate because they're holding down 2 jobs or 9 jobs and they're single parents and
Right.
all the pressures
even
of
harder.
society. It really is
Yeah.
fascinating. Where
It's
we're
funny
going
you're
from
saying
here.
that because I've mentioned that I'm on this school improvement committee at our high school, at our kids' high school. And I'm sitting around the room yesterday at our meeting and we're talking about absenteeism. We're trying to like overanalyze every possible contributor to kids not going to school and how can we affect the rate and what can we implement. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking around the room and you have probably 10 teachers, you have 6 students represented, and then you have about 5 or 6 parents there. And I was asked to be there, right? But I'm thinking to myself, the parents that have been selected are all parents that are involved. Like they're
Right.
involved parents or they're somewhat recognizable as stable households. The kids, similarly, they're all superstar kids. They're all like in the top of their class. And then the teachers are all the really, really well-liked teachers. And this isn't a criticism to the group that they put together, but I was just thinking about what you were saying. And I'm like, that's not who you need to talk to. It's what's going on in those households
With
It's
the others.
representation.
with those parents that are working 3 or 4 jobs that aren't home, that want to be but can't be, and what's happening with their kid, and how can you get involved, and them choosing to make bad choices or whatever it is. I don't know. I was tying it back to absenteeism, but I was thinking about your monster drink, and then I was thinking about your comment, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to bring this up in a conversation next week because it's all of those things.
Yeah.
But it's getting the right people at the table. But the parents that are trying to make the right choices all the time, they're the ones that are like exhausted from just trying to constantly over-educate and over-analyze everything.
Right.
I need a nap.
Okay. Well, not just yet.
That's the sign.
4 more minutes.
I need a nap.
All
4
right.
minutes you can sleep.
I know on a different topic altogether. I know the Valley Breeze has got the story out. I did see it on their website that the city of Pawtucket has planned to start the demolition of McCoy Stadium this coming spring.
Oh, they are. I did not see that.
Kind of
Okay.
sad.
They do plan on, before knocking it down, to opening it up to the public to let them come in, walk around, take
Didn't
pictures.
we do that already? We did the
No.
whole dinner on the field. That was a whole send off.
That was, well, that was
yeah.
that was done by the team. The stadium is actually owned by the city, and the city's going to say, "Well, yeah, no one's been here in like a year and a half."
Right.
And I hope they do this. I don't know if they will, but it's been done in other parks. They should sell these seats.
Sell the seats. Yep.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, the problem is they're all bolted to the concrete.
So somebody's got to.
someone's got to come in and unbolt them and lift them up and then cut them. Every 4th seat,
Yep.
cut.
Yep.
And see if you can get, I don't know, $20 for them or whatever you want to sell them for. I hope they do that. I don't know if they're going to do that.
Do you have any sponsorship signage there at that
We
field?
did. I think ours is down.
Oh, I was going to say that'd be kind of a
Well,
cool vintage memorabilia, like
I
hang
have-
back at the.
It's definitely too big.
Yeah, it is huge.
Massive.
But I have been by there, and what's sad is because it's it's an abandoned building now. A lot of the advertisements that were left has been taken over by
Graffiti
the
artists.
elements. Well, no,
Yeah.
not
Oh,
the
the
graffiti because that's
Elements.
too high up. But
Yeah.
the elements have ripped some of them.
Yeah.
So now some of them are just flapping in the wind.
Yeah. I think mine is gone.
Is yours? Well, it could be down, but I don't know. I couldn't
been the
see
wind.
that
I
part.
don't
Could have been the
know.
wind taking the whole thing down.
I was going to say you could have.
And I wonder,
up and-
that's
too
it's
big.
like 10 feet by 20. It's huge. But they do want to, and if they do, when they do open it to the public, what will they do? Will they take down those advertisements so it doesn't look as shabby, or leave them up just to say this is what it's become and this is why we're getting rid of
They
it?
didn't make the team take all the advertisements down. I guess as an advertiser, it's probably my responsibility to call team up and take my banner down.
Well, now you'd have to call the
so
city.
It's not defaced and not.
And
You know,
they'll say we can't because there's only one guy that works over there and he can't reach it.
I know. Part of me is sad that they're going to take the stadium down, but to be honest with you, it's not going to be used for anything. The city of Pawtucket needs a combined school. They need.
Well,
a
they voted
unified
on
high
it,
school.
and they said
Right.
okay.
So, and that's I think probably the best spot for it.
It is.
So then let's just do it. Rip the Band-Aid off, do it.
That's what they're going to do.
And,
Well,
and-
originally it was going to be used for concert spaces and whatever, but now
that was
obviously
an
the new
idea,
soccer
but-
stadium will be using that. So why have
Yeah.
2 arenas in an area?
Soccer stadium sold 2,600
Yeah.
pre-tickets.
Season tickets?
We bought
That's
some.
great.
Yeah,
Wow.
we bought. You put a
when
deposit down.
when they announced their team name.
Right, you put a deposit down, and then
Right.
you balance
when we actually get a schedule out.
Yep, exactly. So we put
Okay.
a deposit in for we bought, just like we did for the Paw Sox, I think we reserved 8 seats.
Yeah.
8, hopefully
That's
front row
great.
seats.
All right. See how it
and,
goes.
we'll
We're
use
excited
them.
to go with him, right, Joe?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will be
we're
happy to
excited.
take you because, well, actually, I'm not going to have any problem giving these tickets away. So
I don't think
we'll
you
use them
will.
like we do all of our stuff.
Yeah.
We do it for employee recognition, appreciation. We do it for for community support, and then as a giveaway to members.
Okay.
So there's 3, like we do that with the Civic Center as well, with the
Civic Center.
So
Oh my God, you are old.
Wow.
still hurts.
Yeah, I was
little,
thinking how-
still hurts. A little bit of pain
I was
there.
gonna say that.
But yeah, so it's it's a fun thing. I think that Rhode Island should get behind it. We have committed to it, so let's not be defeatist about the whole thing and go,
Yeah.
I should have spent so much money, now I'm not going to go. Take a look at Worcester, and again, I will repeat, see what's going on around that stadium up there.
Ooh, it's
Right?
pretty impressive.
Could have had that in Pawtucket
I
if
know.
you were smart,
I know.
but we weren't.
All right.
Now we have a bridge, with the River Kwai, and there's
We do have to wrap things up, but I wanted to get this in one more time. For Thanksgiving, turns out traditional Thanksgiving dishes may not be the favorites. Turkey is in shorter supply this year because of the avian flu, but that may be just fine with some people. A new study finds nearly 30% of Americans don't even like turkey. I find that so high.
makes me go to sleep.
I love turkey. Anyway, the Vacationer, an online travel guide, surveyed Americans across the country. What is the least favorite dish at Thanksgiving? Any idea?
Squash.
No. Tim.
Least favorite, turnips.
No. Cranberry sauce comes in.
What?
You know what? I heard you
it's
say
the,
that.
I think it's the original cranberry sauce, not the stuff out of the can. Stuff out of the can is great.
Oh,
Turkey.
Stuff out of the
so
can is the
so wait
best.
a minute. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm making whole cranberry sauce
Chutney,
tonight. You're
cranberry
saying people
chutney.
do not like the homemade whole cranberry sauce?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm in the minority.
Turkey comes
I
in.
prefer it.
I like the can.
I do
Cut both
too.
ends out, push
Love-
it out,
love
and
the
then you got
ridges.
all your cut lines, and everything's perfect.
And then turkey comes in second. And number 3, still not squash. What did you say, Tim?
I said turnips.
It's not turnips either. Do you want to pick another dish?
Sweet
Not
potato?
sweet potato pie.
Peas?
Not peas. Green bean casserole.
Really?
People don't like it?
People don't like it.
With
I don't like it.
With Campbell's mushroom
Yeah.
soup
Oh,
in
no,
it. That's
lousy.
It's not
Lousy.
my thing either, but I
Lousy.
know a lot of people that like it. Interesting.
that came in third in
I'm
the
a big
survey.
fan of that. Some
All
of the
right.
vegetables I can eat.
We got to run, so thank you very much for listening in. Tim Draper, thanks for coming in. Happy Thanksgiving.
Joe, happy Thanksgiving, everybody out there, and enjoy the God-given day.
Very good. Melissa Smith, happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving, safe travels to all of those that will be on the road, and stay out of my way.
Very
Including
good.
John.
Stay out of my
Including
way.
John.
I
Stay
love
out of
that.
my way.
All right, stay tuned. Gary Smith and the crew. Do remember, up at 9:30. Coming up next, though, Community Care Alliance.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. The NBA training